covering the Mid-Atlantic and part of the Northeast regions, which includes the Cal Ripken and Valley Leagues. In today's installment of Commissioner's Corner, we will be speaking with Hamptons League President Sandi Kruel. Thank you for joining us, Sandi.
Thank you for having me.
So if you just kind of want to start, tell us what we can look forward to this season, kind of what's been going on this off season.
Sure. So we're heading into our 13th year this year. We'll be opening with 7 teams again. This year we have a little bit of exciting news. We're actually going to be meeting up with some of the teams from the Alliance, Cal Ripken, and the Florida Belt League in North Carolina for a prospect showcase with MLB cross-checkers. So that'll be interesting. That'll happen in July.
And does that coincide with any of your all-star midsummer festivities?
No, it's actually going to be over and above. So we'll do our all-star in July 7th, and then the kids, the prospect team, will head down to Cary, North Carolina to Perfect Game in North Carolina to have their 2-day showcase in front of head cross-checkers from Major League Baseball. I do have some really big news if you really want it.
Go for it.
So we actually have a catcher coming in this year who is originally from Canada, who plays at a college in New Hampshire. And she will be joining us as the first female player for the Hampton Collegiate Baseball League this year.
With shortening the season a little bit and also 2020 being an Olympic year, does that present any scheduling difficulties or conflicts?
So far, it hasn't affected us whatsoever, other than Major League Baseball is funding Team USA very heavily, of course, and the other baseball teams. So, we've heard a lot from Major League Baseball about how it affects them, but it really has not trickled down and affected us whatsoever at this point.
Also, it seems to be more and more every day with Major League Baseball, what the Houston Astros were doing, this cheating.
Yeah.
Is that of any concern? Does that really trickle down, or
I'm going to go from a past experience. I had 2 sons who both played collegiate baseball. My oldest son was a right-handed pitcher, and my middle son was a knuckleball pitcher. So you knew you were either getting a knuckleball or you were getting a fastball. You couldn't steal a sign. I remember one time a coach said, I'm going to call his game. I said, well, what are you going to call? A knuckleball or a fastball? So I'm going to leave it to what Mariano Rivera said. I'm throwing you a cutter, and you're probably not going to hit it anyway. So, I mean, I don't think that the Astros are the first team to have this happen. I don't think that this is something new. I think it just became this huge issue because somebody realized it and it altered the effect of the game. And I don't think that's happened before. So how do you stop it? I don't think there really is a way to stop it. Mix up your signs after every inning. But, I mean, at the end of the day, throw the ball, and if they hit it and they beat you, God bless them. And if you get it past them, good for you.
Is there kind of any concern that with all this addition of electronic sort of equipment trickling into
analytic scouting is what they're calling it now? Yes. When we were at Nashville, they brought in the head cross-checker from Chicago White Sox, and he basically told us flat out that the scouting bureau is getting smaller by the day, and that if you want to stay current, you really have to go to Rapsodo or Fast Track or one of these analytic companies where you can then send your kids' information to the scouting bureaus because there's just not enough scouts or the funding to send them to leagues other than basically the Cape Cod League. So that's all fine and dandy. How do we finance something like that? So we go to the Hampton Collegiate League, where we don't own our fields. We use facilities that are around us, whether it be a high school field or it be a private park. So those types of machineries to install permanently, they run like $30,000 a piece. So you times that by 7, and then you times by how you have to have people to input it, to pass it along. It's becoming very challenging for us to do that unless we start to get some financial help from, Major League Baseball or the Scouting Bureau wants to help us. We are looking into a less expensive version to try to keep up with the technology. But at the end of the day, it's becoming mind-blowing that a spin rate is going to justify whether, for me, if you're going to choose a pitcher, let's see how that pitcher handles bases loaded, no outs. What's he throwing? How's his body demeanor? How's his temperament? It becomes an entire baseball player, not just an analytic scouting. So I think it's here today, but I'm not so sure it's going to be here tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Is there anything else kind of looking for this season, all-star, kind of any other special events, special guest appearances fans can look forward to?
No, I mean, we always know that, John Franco's going to show up in, his shorts and a T-shirt one day and talk to the guys with his son, JJ. And usually Bill Pulsiver stops by and says hello, or David Cohen, or, we're hoping to get Keith Hernandez. He lives around here to come down and see the guys. So you really never know who's going to be at the field. So it's actually kind of fun. But as far as special events, we have our annual golf tournament that's in, May that we do for our fundraisers. And, in that we have, a couple of celebrities that come out and join us. But all in all, we're just looking forward to just getting another year under my belt as president and trying to get the level of talent that we got in last year, because I believe it was probably one of our strongest years of talent was last year. I think we're going to see a huge recoup in draft in a couple of years from this group. And just keep plugging along, trying to get that eighth team, that even number of teams. That's my goal.
And do you see, with some conversations throughout Major League Baseball about changing or shortening the draft at all, does that kind of impact any of your work?
Well, there's I'm not going to say talks, but there's definitely rumblings, I think would be a good word, that perhaps next year the draft might be delayed until after the College World Series. So it might take us straight through until August. And there are reasons that we've been told, nothing official, of course. This is totally off the record. This is unofficial. But like I said, there are mumblings. They want the kids to go to the College World Series at 100%. They want them to go there and work really hard so that, they don't know if they're drafted, and they're going to go there and they're going to play their hearts out to attempt to be drafted. It's also going to give the scouts another look at them in a more highly competitive area to see how those kids do. So there's some plus sizes for us. It would be awesome to get that redshirt senior or that rising senior into our leagues, just because they've seen 5,000 at-bats versus a redshirt freshman who's seen 50 at-bats. So there is rumor that could possibly happen, though, in 2021.
And would that potentially, if you have more players, like you get those seniors, would that help create that eighth team that you're looking for?
No, I need a house. I need housing, and I need somebody out there, whoever wants to live by the Hamptons and wants to have a team. No, I need a GM that would can find housing for 25 kids, which is very hard in the Hamptons because, unfortunately, we are one of the most desirable places in the world for July and August. So instead of opening up your home to a college baseball player, which is an amazing experience, I probably had 55 in my life, they rent out their rooms for $600 a night. So it's like, what do you want to do? So it becomes housing definitely becomes a little bit of a challenge for us out here. But no, what it would do is it would increase the level of competition, and we would definitely be able to get, bigger schools would come, and higher draft percentages make you higher on the list of the most desirable leagues in the country. We're in the top 10, but we'd like to move up that ladder. We're only number 9 at this point.
And is there anything else kind of about the league, kind of what's going on in general?
No, I just want to reiterate that is, we get 7 teams, 28 kids. They come from all over the country. People generously open up their homes, and they put these kids up for 8 weeks, 4 weeks, some put 8 weeks. And it's an experience. We bring them to Little Leagues. We do clinics, free clinics every Sunday. We go out into the community. We fundraise for cancer causes, for Save the Community. We march in the local parades. It really is, as much as it's for the kids coming out here to get drafted, in our communities, it really is giving back a little bit of something. We bring them to morning program. They get to meet the little kids who think they're like major superstars. And like, is that guy Derek Jeter? And we're like, no, honey, it's his dream to be Derek Jeter. But it's really cute to see the interactions with the kids. So, we just continue with that philosophy. If it's free family entertainment and it's wholesome and it's healthy and you come down to the park with your lawn chair and your basket, and you watch some really good quality top baseball players. And at the end of the day, we hope we fulfill the town's dreams and, of course, the players' dreams to make it to the next level. That's our goal.
We're looking forward to the season.
Yeah, so are we. I'm excited. It's going to be here before I know it. It's like, but we're ready. We're ready.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you said you had one player coming down from Canada. Are there any other?
Like I said, I have to tell you that the roster is kept in the recruiting department. They're all the rosters, and they're kept pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I know about the Canadian player is because, she already plays for a college in New Hampshire.
Oh,
so
okay.
She's already on a roster, so she's already playing at a collegiate level with men. But you have to make sure, that is a good situation for everybody included. So that was one that I was definitely contacted on. Cheney Dodge, like I said, returning to West Hampton, that was a no-brainer. The kid has hands that are like gloves. They're clouds. He's an amazing player to watch. But in general, we kind of keep the rosters to themselves. So I don't get anything. Probably going to have a couple of kids from the Dominican. I think I did hear one from Venezuela. So we do try to bring in some international players. Last year we had 2 kids from South Africa. So that's our goal, is also to bring international players here. We have Vince Calasuno, who is our international MLB liaison. So he comes here and sees our players, and then we actually have 3 playing overseas also. So we kind of try to mix and match and get our kids over there and their kids here. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
so we're excited.
Overseas, do you know where they'll be?
Right now, Brian Rubin is in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I have, give me a second. I can't think of the top of my head, but I have another player over in Japan, and there's one in France. So we've got three countries over there. So.
And have you heard, how do the players view that experience?
I spoke with Brian Rubin when I was in Nashville, because he was in Nashville on break, and he actually does some songwriting. So he was there playing some music, and he was on break. He actually is heading back. He's in spring training now. And he said it was just an amazing experience, and that it was one that he wasn't sure that he would have been able to have without having Vince, who is our international guy, help him make those connections. And he's really enjoying himself. Of course, their goal is all to get to the show. That's their goal. So, hopefully that's a road that will lead it's just another avenue that we can send them down to try to get to that special place for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course we have our Gowan, who went to school with us, who I coached in Little League many years ago. We don't tell people that. He played on the Sag Harbor Whalers with one of my sons. It was actually at my son's wedding, but he just reported to spring training for the Washington Nationals. And I can tell you that, he had always said that he thought that the Astros were stealing signs. Long ago, I was like, really? So we have our own local heroes. So, Kyle could come down to the park and I'd be like, yo, go in the dugouts and, go talk to some kids and tell them what it's like to get to the show. And he was like, really? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So he goes in there and spends like 20 minutes, a half an hour. So, and the kids love that stuff. They, eat that right up. So, somebody that actually made it, who's still 28 years old, 29, who's still like in their age group, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at this year. Looking for a great season and, new things. Like I said, new female president and first female player. So we're excited.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, we're happy. Major League Baseball is very happy also, which always makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It's always good to be on their good side. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a great summer.
I will. Yes, please stay with us on Point Streak. We'll be online.